things to say, way to body language, that sort of stuff, put it up on your website?
No, I say, just tell them it's wrong to grope me. It violates law, and then you just go to the DA after it happens, and you get them indicted. I appreciate your call. I mean, look, they've already, in 2 days now, they've got a whole bunch of airports. In fact, I have the article that major airport associations are saying, we'll do our own security, get out of here. See, it was never the law. The airports invited them in right after the government staged 9/11, when they were all, ready to lick boots and do whatever they were told. Okay, so it's a power grab. It's all civil. That's why they threaten you with civil $11,000 fines. First it was 10, now 11 if you don't submit. It's all intimidation. Bob Chapman, your comments.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. And as I said early in the program, it's psychological warfare to get people in a submissive mood, that the government can do anything they want. And
yeah, get out of your trance. Wake up. Get out of the trance, folks. Sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. Another thing, too, is I understand that there are 17 airports who have already opted out of the system.
Yes.
Now, why don't the rest of them opt out of the system? Then we won't have them in there to do those things.
But then the feds are going to go blow up a plane at one of those airports, so we have to expose the false flag terror and say, we're going to fly even more with the airport that you're bombing. I want to go to the airport where the feds are doing it, okay? We're not giving in to your terrorism, right, Bob?
Absolutely. We're fighters, and we want to make everybody else fighters.
I mean, seriously, you've got a better chance of dying from a honeybee sting, literally, than you do being killed by a terrorist. It's ridiculous.
When I saw Ollie North back in 1984-85, before the Senate committee, talk about terrorism and Osama bin Laden, I knew then what the scam was going to be. And after that, I questioned him on it. And he just laughed and giggled and wouldn't answer me.
That's right, Bob. You've been very successful in business and also worked in intelligence for the U.S. government. And you want to finally tell your other Ollie North stories, or is that still secret?
No. They're not interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather hear what our listeners want to hear, because that's why we're here.
Hey, you know what I found out from a major magazine reporter, and I checked it last night, it was true. A major magazine reporter was here, and I was talking about Gary Allen, the book you helped get published. None Dare Call It Conspiracy, really helping wake me up when I was like 12, 14. I forget how old I was. I was real young when I read it. And he said, did you know Gary Allen's son runs Politico? Gary Allen's son runs like one of the hottest news websites in the world now. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I haven't been in touch with him for 20 years.
Did you know Gary Allen's son?
Well, yeah, but he was young at the time. I didn't have anything to do with him. I just knew him. That's it.
Well, that's amazing.
I knew his wife better, but in fact, when we published the Gary Allen report, I handed everything over to his wife, and I never took a dime out of it. I just let him keep the whole thing, because I was making piles of money. And so I said, Gary, you need an income, so here.
At one time
we had about 40,000 subscribers, so we did okay.
But at one time you were also the biggest private silver and gold broker, right?
Absolutely. A stockbroker, that is, as opposed to coins and bullion.
How much were you, what was your volume at your peak?
Well, I was, in gross commissions, I was doing averaging about $300,000 a month, which is about, $3.6 million a year, and I used to keep 65% of it, so I did okay.
And that was back in the 80s and 90s?
That was really between 1976 and 1988 were the top years, and they started to fade towards 88, and that's when I shut it down and retired, and which I really should have never done because I was bored to death. Played golf and tennis, and I said, I got to use my mind. And someone says to me, well, why don't you start a newsletter? And I said, gee, that sounds like a great idea. So I did it.
And here we are, fighting the New World Order. I meant to get to all these calls. We're going to let's jam in one, and let's just skip the break. I'm out of control today. Skip the network break, please. Let's talk to Jay and Mass. You're on the air.
Hey, Alex, thanks for taking the call. You touched on this a little bit earlier, but I have a question for you now on the TSA stuff. if this is something that they opt out of and it's repealed and everything, doesn't that sort of play into the powers that be's hands where they could orchestrate another attack? And
no, definitely. They're going to blow some stuff up and say, see, we told you, now it's a proctology exam. And people will go, that's right, I'm so scared of Al-Qaeda. We have to point out, like Ron Paul, you got a better chance of dying in a car wreck, honeybee sting, football accident, slipping and falling. I mean, it's one of the lowest causes of death is terrorism. And then when you research it, most of it's government-sponsored. So but even if it was real, you know what? I'm ready to face the danger. It's a bunch of bull. I mean, there's 28,000 dead on the U.S.-Mexican border, and that's more than Vietnam every year. Okay, this is incredible. But they're not worried about that. They just hype it up and, ooh, the terrorist, look, he's got a turban on. It's all a delusion. I'm sorry, Jay, finish your point.
No, it just seems like, I mean, from my point of view, it seems like it's almost a win-win for them, because if they do have to repeal it, they can just orchestrate something else and then almost heighten the terror, you know what I mean?
Yes. Bob Chapman, your comments on that?
Well, that's a hard one. Yes, they could turn it that way. But I think if we can stop them from doing what they're doing, whether it's through the airports dropping out of the system, in which they can, and as I said, 17 have already done so. And the latest one was Orlando. And we got to shut them down one way or the other. And whatever the response is, it is. I mean, you know, it's just like, well, the bully's after me, and if I punch him in the face, I'm going to get pounded. So what? If you fight back, he's going to say, gee, I better go pick on somebody else who's not going to take a swing at me.
It's incredible, Bob. Let's go ahead and take another call. Let's talk to Jackie in Canada. Jackie, you're on the air worldwide.
Hey, Mr. Alex Jones. I just want to say hi. I pray for you. I listened to you for the first time like 5 years ago. And I have 3 very important points, if I could please say them. First of all, I agree. The Bible says stand up for righteousness, stand against evil. But we have to remember, you know, when people's lives are at stake, they need to receive the gospel. They need to believe in Jesus Christ, because if they don't believe in him and they die, they're going to go to hell for eternity. Jesus is the only way to heaven because he never sinned, and we all sin. So, second of all, I think a great idea we can all do is get together and protest outside of the TV news stations and protest that we want the truth, because that is what is deceiving most people right now. And if they got the truth, then everything could change. The fake terrorist attacks can't work, and we need that. We deserve the truth. It's evil that they're lying to us. And the last thing is those people in the FEMA camps that we saw on your show with the Governor Ventura. Who are those kids in the FEMA camps? Can we investigate that? Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Go ahead.
Sorry. So that was 3 very fast points, but we saw those kids in the FEMA camps behind the gates. Who are people? There's people in FEMA camps right now. What's going on? Who are they? Okay,
well, we've explained that. It's covered. We've done many shows. That footage is from yours truly. My crew shot that, and we explain it. If you listen on the show, they take the children of immigrants who are citizens themselves, and they lock them up in those camps. And under the congressional hearings, they admit that they build the camps in the name of immigrants, but that they're also for citizens. So they're set up for entire families. I appreciate your call. Let's go ahead and talk to Pat in Texas. You're on the air with Bob Chapman. Go ahead.
Hi, I've got a couple of points. First of all, a friend of mine had a dream of 911 before it happened, but she didn't pursue it at all. She saw the buildings, the planes, and everything. And she's had a dream of a woman, a white American-like woman with a suit on and a baby doll in her arms. And before she got onto the plane, she threw the baby doll down, jumped on, and it blew up. And I'm wondering, are they X-raying babies? And how do you know that they don't and they let a baby dog go through? And the second point I want to say is I want to take up for Perry, because I know Air Perry sometimes gets on our nerves. But you know what? Abortion is the number 1 issue in America today. I hate to tell you that, but I've watched it. I told when Kay Bailey Hutchinson voted for cloture and was essentially voting for the health care bill and paying for abortion, I said, it's going to freeze over. And it froze over here. Everything was white. The air was white. I'm telling you.
All right, well, listen, Pat, we're almost out of time. I appreciate your call. Look, I want to get Bob's final comment here because, look, I don't go off of dreams here on the show. But, yes, they have been advertising white al-Qaeda because they really don't like the fact that the public goes, wait a minute, you say Muslims did it or foreigners did it, but citizens are the people being harassed. So they want to hype up that, oh, the white bread people, they're behind it, and, you know, black folks, they're behind it, and all these other, everybody's a terrorist. And, yes, they do X-ray baby dolls. They X-ray everything. Bob Chapman, your comments.
Covered it. I think that we have to deal with the absolute realities, and that's what we're doing on this show. And the other things are very peripheral.
By the way, they just gave me a helium article here. It says the chance of dying in a terror attack in the United States is greater than winning the Powerball twice in a row. I don't know if that's true, but I do know it's one of the lowest statistical chances you've got to die. I do know you've got a better chance of being struck by lightning. Let's put up what helium says. It says, but it is likely as winning the Powerball twice in a row, terrorist attacks will kill fewer people than, among other things, heart disease, cancer, car accidents, suicide, complications due to surgery, at least in America. Yeah, well, I agree with that. I mean, it's just a hyped-up, made-up thing, Bob.
Well, it's a repetition of a form of brainwashing. And the American people, unfortunately, have bought it, and the catalyst, of course, was 9/11. And in this last 10 years.
Yeah, it was trauma-based mind control. They took that event and then tried to sell us on the new way through that.
Exactly. And that's what this is all about. And you can't let them suck you into the vortex. Stop watching the crummy TV programs and spend your time listening to things like Alex has to say and supporting them. We've got to reach people all over the world. Yes, we're worried about Americans because we're Americans. But there's more people that need help as well. And that radiation over the airways has got to go out.
Well, we're all in this together. And this is a global government. It's a new world order we're fighting. Folks, you can call 800-686-2237, get a free copy of the International Forecaster. Bob, we will see you again, Lord willing. I guess we won't see you again. It'll be a rebroadcast next Friday. I'm taking off and have you take off for Thanksgiving. But we'll see you then in 2 weeks, my friend.
Okay, thank you, and thank you all for listening.
And as things break or unfold, Bob, I'm sure can pop in on another day. God bless you, Bob. Really appreciate you. Folks, get that Jesse Ventura story at Infowars.com. It's hot.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Hello, Alex Jones has told you about the delicious, safe, easy-to-fix, and very storable food from eFoods Direct. He's also told you that eFoods Direct has the best food on the planet. Well, here's the great news. It's that time of year, and their holiday special is here. 2 holiday-priced packs for you to put into your reserve for a secure future or share with others. The first is a 6-month bulk supply in number 10 cans, and the second is a 5-week supply of quick and easy meals, including delicious bakery items shipped in heavy-duty totes. Both are special values for the holidays. When you order 2 or more of these special holiday packs, you'll get free shipping on the entire order.